Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. This time after the final Into the Light live stream has happened, we just learned there will be also a Final Shape live stream like a half hour before Into the Light launches next week. This week was about not so much the core Into the Light content, which is Onslaught and the weapons, but also stuff that is happening in the same time period. That would be the main things are the new exotic missions going into the rotator and the new PvP maps, which they've been doing these PvP maps since before Into the Light was even a thing, but they are releasing during Into the Light itself. And perhaps I was not like super shocked about anything in here. As a whole, I've been very impressed with all 3 weeks of this and sort of the grand scope of content that Into the Light in this period seems to be offering. I'll go into that in a little bit more later, but for now, what they announced was the return of Whisper and the return of 0 Hour. Not exactly a huge shock. They did say that future exotic missions would be put into the rotator eventually. There are no more famous exotic missions than Whisper and 0 Hour. It's an interesting situation because both of those missions were content vaulted mainly because they were parts of levels that were content vaulted, and I guess they would have had to be relit and redone and all this stuff, which they have done now. But IO is not coming back. We're not getting the Red War campaign back because it uses the same areas. But these missions are coming back. Unsurprisingly, they are needing to rebalance them a bit. We heard just generally that they will have a lot more enemies this time around, given that our mob clearing abilities are sort of out of control these days. They said they didn't mess like too much with traversal. Like they kind of use this the Trevor segment where now you can like sword skate or now you can like strand grapple out of the way of Trevor and like move really fast. They're like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna like overly penalize that. So they didn't do like too much overhauling when it comes to stuff like combating movement abilities and things. So there might be ways to like be able to skip some things maybe that we couldn't do before. They did mention that both bosses are going to be reworked in some way. They would not go into what exactly that was going to look like, but that is not a huge surprise either, given that in the current sandbox, those old bosses would kind of probably just fall over if there were not actually some changes made. They also said that they're kind of moving around all the secrets, and so like you think you know where the secrets are, you think you know this and that, like, but they're going to change them all, and everyone's going to have to make new guides, which me and all my content creator friends are happy about. And then, of course, we have craftable versions of Whisper and Outbreak Prime. Whisper is stuff like Mulligan and what else did I have? Field Prep. I don't know. But the more important thing, I think, is because you can change around all the barrels and mags and stocks and stuff to make like a Whisper with a ton more stability. Outbreak, meanwhile, you can now get like rapid hit on it, stuff like that. Rewind rounds, and then of course you can change all its stats and stuff too. One interesting thing, if you have the catalyst for the weapon currently, which you got through the old missions, you can just keep it. You don't have to get it again. Other people have to get it on Legend. So those are back. I don't know how personally motivated I am to rerun those a bunch of times. I'll do it just to see what's changed and stuff, but I don't really care that much about crafting Whisper the Worm, and my Outbreak with Outlaw is perfectly fine. I don't really care to get a rapid hit one instead. I don't know, whatever, that's fine. I'm not really expecting anything else. Oh, there are new ships. They did do like kind of new versions of the old ship, the secret ships or whatever, achievement ships from the previous missions, so maybe that's something to grab. Then they moved into the PvP maps, which obviously I'm not like a person who cares about PvP that much, but I am glad they're making these maps to hopefully make the PvP player base happy and healthier, because anything that benefits the game in one area is good for everybody. These maps are really beautiful. We see PvP maps all the time, and like some of them are cool, but like I was really struck by how cool these look. There's the one in Europa and like a frozen facility that like Aramis is using to refuel her catch. There is one that's like a shopping mall on Neomuna, which is very cool. It feels very it gave me kind of Halo vibes, honestly. For some of those maps with this big kind of open atrium area. And then there is a one on a pyramid ship, a Root of Nightmares type pyramid ship where it's getting terraformed by the Traveler. That was really cool. They talked about how hard it was to make a pyramid ship based map because there's so much like visual clutter on all the walls, the pyramids, all the decorations, and like you really need like a lot of clean surfaces for PvP so you can actually like see other people on the map. So they said that that was kind of hard. They said that they play tested it with like big PvP players and everyone was kind of like, this sucks. And then they did a lot of work to like redo it and make it better. So that was cool to see. Everybody, we don't know how they are until they play on them. The playtesters reportedly think they're good. And they've said specifically, like, they're not trying to make these big, sprawling, trying to be everything maps. Like, I don't think anyone really likes the last two maps they made, Disjunction and whatever the hell the Vex one's called. So these still look like they're probably going to end up being better. And we'll see. Just the fact that they exist at all is progress. I saw someone said, well, they should make Gambit maps in these locations now. Yep, well, I guess we gotta keep dreaming about that one, because I'm not going to hold my breath for that anytime soon. At the end, there's something interesting about how you can just skip the entire New Light campaign and just hop into like Onslaught or whatever with your friends, which is interesting. You can, they announced this Pantheon where it's some sort of raid boss rush challenge thing with escalating difficulty and rewards, and like all the ultra high end PvE players are super excited about it, which it sounds very cool. That sounds like a very cool thing to add to the game. It feels like they're adding all the stuff that people have been asking for forever. They're adding a horde mode. They're adding more PvP maps. They're adding a boss rush. Like, these are things that people have asked for a very long time. Again, like, we have not played any of this yet, but like, I am very impressed with what has been revealed here. And I previously said that Into the Light was going to be, a much smaller update than what we got with 30th Anniversary. And technically that's true, because 30th Anniversary gave us a whole new dungeon, and it gave us Dares of Eternity, which was a wholly new created space with these different objectives, these different boss rooms. And Into the Light, the main thing is Onslaught, which is on Crucible maps. It's not, the same thing. Boss Rush will be old raid bosses. All the weapons are reprised weapons. Like, it's smaller in terms of like what they literally had to build, but it feels kind of bigger in terms of scope. The rewards seem better. The idea seems better. The horde mode concept, as opposed to, Dares is fun, and a dungeon is fun, but it's in the end, it's just a dungeon, and we've done dungeons. But this is sort of something totally new. It sounds like they're going to try to make it really rewarding. And it seems like they really did a good job sort of figuring out. It's a crazy good balance between like what players have said they wanted, often for years, and then what Bungie was able to build in this incredibly short period of time. Like, no one really knew about this delay. They knew the 30th Anniversary thing. They knew the delay was coming a lot before that. They planned for that content. I think that was planned anyway, even if there was no delay. Whereas this was like, there's a delay. Well, we can't just have a 6-month season with nothing in the middle, so we're going to build something. And this is what they built. And they're doing this while they have to build Into the Light at the same time. They have to build Final Shape at the same time, which they want to be their biggest expansion like of all time. So no pressure. Oh, and there's people building Marathon. So I'm very impressed. I know things are very hard at Bungie right now in general, but it's been nice to see them kind of excited about this. And as of this stream, I don't know. It feels like everybody's pretty excited about this. Like, the player base is obviously fatigued, and it's been a very rough year, but I think most people are looking at this and being like, okay, this looks pretty cool. Bungie cooked, as the kids say. I'm so old. But I'm looking forward to this. I will, be playing a lot more Destiny, here in a week or so, and I'll probably be grinding that out until Final Shape, or until I get all the roles I want, and then I can stop. And it seems like things are sort of in a temporarily good place. I do think Final Shape is going to be good, personally. This is separate from, like, what's the long-term future of Bungie? Like, is Destiny ever going to make an expansion again? These are kind of sort of separate questions, but it feels like Into the Light is going to be good. I do have faith Final Shape is going to be good, and then what happens from there, I guess we'll find out, because expectations and demands are so high, it doesn't really even matter necessarily how good this stuff is. So. But yeah, very cool stuff. I'm excited to play in a week. We'll do a Final Shape thing. I don't know. There's going to be a lot to cover next Tuesday, so I don't know how I'll break it all down. But today I wanted to do both an article and a video, like, kind of at the same time, as I've kind of been doing one or the other, but different audiences in a lot of ways on YouTube and in Forbes. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.